This is IBM Museum, and today I did have a Facebook memory of a picture, and I talked about going through and doing my YouTube premiere. And certainly I had done videos back in July of last year. There's some content there in September, but around October timeframe is when I decided and started branding the channel a little bit more as IBM Museum. So this is a 1 year anniversary ultimately for me, and I'm just shy of 600 subscribers, which is a great growth over the last year. There's been times where that's really sprung up and times where it's really dragged on, but it's not a bad first year. Certainly there's content that I recorded that's, I think that it's a lower production value, but I'll go through and replace videos as I have to. Some of those videos don't even have that much views. That may no comments, not much likes or anything like that. But it was good to have them in place, and that brought in viewers over this last year. Now I will be at VCF East and be there just as I won't have a booth or anything else. Just be there as another viewer on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, October the 9th. And I'll be hanging with Retro Tech Chris, kind of sticking to him like glue as he goes through. He's my host for going over to that area, picking up a number of systems that you'll see on video at a later point. Now, I do have the system. I went through and switched out a power supply on it, so I hope this is going to work. This is the IBM Industrial 7546 that I received. This is through an eBay purchase, and I was able to submit an offer, and that offer went down, of course, as I went through, and was helpful to the seller, being that the power supply stopped working. And so we weren't able to run the diskette that I sent over for them to figure out what was inside, since it was a locked case. And I'm going to go through. They returned the diskette to me with the shipped system, and I've gone through finally and swapped in another power supply, button the system back up. I don't even know if that power supply works. I have not fired it up yet. I do have the power cord plugged into the back. That's something that I recommend, that you only have the power cord plugged into these things when you're going through and using them. When you leave, just go ahead and unplug them, and that saves maybe that power supply going down in the time. And we've got to figure these things out and go a little bit further to fixing those power supplies. But let's go through and let's just fire this thing up for the first time. I have on the screen, I can go through and bring up video from it as well. I'll grab my remote for switching that, and of course white power button. I don't know, maybe the hard drive is an amber light. We'll have to see, amber LED, and that's what maybe confused me on the yellow. So let's go over, switch my source over to my VGA capture. And at least there we are getting we're getting video. So power supply does work. And I even thought it was a 2 megabyte stick of RAM that was in there when I looked on the inside on that prior video. But it appears it's a 4 megabyte. And as we'll find out, this will probably identify itself as the ultimately when we run the system information tool, it'll just go through and identify itself as a 8556, 8557. Actually 8557, since it does have the planar ID. And we'll see that in a moment when we run the system information tool. The main aspect of this, of course, is that multi-port serial board that's in there, and exactly what it does and things. I just have a blinking cursor, you know, hopefully without the whatever is supposed to be attached to it. It'll go through, or I'll have to go through and make some adjustments to the to that startup routine, and see exactly what's going on with it. I just have a blinking cursor, and I'll go through and I'll review the video at a later point, just to kind of see how that board initialized and what it may be looking for. Now, thankfully, the system information tool diskette is bootable. Let's go through and I'll just unlock the door. Let's get switched over back to just that system view for a moment. I'll go through the diskette drive is underneath this locked front cover. And I'm just going to do a Control-Delete. And I hear a diskette going. Just to kind of show that diskette access. And of course, on the system information tool, I do not have an autoexec.bat file. So it's defaulted to an earlier date. In fact, it's funny, for the 4th of January, 1980, that being probably a DOS date. I should have put in a new date. It's right at 9 o'clock here. So I can put in time. I'll run the date command again. And what the hey, we'll put in, oh, it's in October now. I have to think what day it is. It started October now for the year 2021. Okay. And again, on that diskette, and I've gone through and I think I've got even captured the BIOS for another system, for a 9557. Oh, I ran the system information. I was intending to do a, we can do a directory later on. But that's at C. Revision C update from Major Tom for the system information tool. And for the adapter information, we've got the that real-time multi-port /2 is the only adapter that's present. And subaddress FFFF, and we'll have to figure out if that's correct when we go to use things. But no other adapters present on those other slots. Disk information, hard drive by drive letter, drive C, it's IBM DOS 5 that's ultimately on there. $80 megabyte. And the should be 1.44 megabyte. No, it's a 2.88 megabyte diskette drive. Okay, we'll look at keyboard information. The 101/102 and 122 keyboards are supported. Keyboard ID 83AB. And it's properly identified this as a Model M keyboard. And get type-o-matic rate supported, set type-o-matic rate supported, return to default type-o-matic rate supported. And otherwise, we'll see that when we get to the proper point of how it will report. And again, this is, and it's identifying the memory modules here. This is effectively an 8557 planar that's inside this IBM Industrial 7546 unit. And we see the supported modules, 4 megabyte on board. Memory mapping. Okay, miscellaneous technical information. Second interrupt chip is present. Real-time clock is present. Wait on external event is unsupported. Extended BIOS data area is allocated. System has a microchannel bus. DMA supports 24-bit address space. Keyboard functionality call supported. Return POS data map or data call supported. Return memory map call supported. Enable disable processor functions call supported. Non-8042 keyboard controller in system. Data streaming is supported. SCSI subsystem is present on the system board. Information panel is not installed. This is an IML system. SCSI support is in the IML image. No mouse driver loaded, so I do have a mouse connected, but it's without the driver, it's not able to operate that. Operating system information, DOS version 6.20, and despite that hard drive volume number, volume identifier saying PC DOS 5, and I did not do any updates or anything else. This is the first time I've had the system powered on. Model and processor information. Okay, and as I say, IBM PS2 Model 57 SLC. It's got the 386 SLC 20 megahertz CPU and no Mathco processor. On the prior video, I did show the inside of this. Internal cache enabled. Model F8, submodel 25. BIOS revision 09, BIOS ROM date of 12/07/91, meaning the 7th of December of 1991, I think is how the System Information Tool reports the date, with the month being first. But I'll go through and verify that. And then the system board POS ID of E2FE. That's why it's identifying this as an 8557 SLC model. And the 386SX planer is the same planer ID when it's on a model 57, an 8557. Okay, serial and parallel port information. It doesn't, of course, count that multi-port controller, but one of each of the parallel and serial ports. SCSI information. SCSI controller on the planer. And there we've got that information. Just to go through and present that data up on the screen for people to read. Okay, this will maybe show, well, close to the same information. Okay. And the video information, and this has the SVGA on the planer, but of course I didn't seeing that's typically a new driver that's been more recently discovered. Now I'll have to see and it's reporting the video RAM correctly in this case is 256 KB, but I think I figured out that the System Information Tool, I think that's hard coded. I think I had systems that had the 512, it had the additional 256 KB of VRAM, and that was still not identifying that correctly. So that is the System Information Tool run through on this system. And since we booted to the A drive, we might take a look at what we've got on the system. And they've got some PK zip and unzip, PC backup, and that quadrant is the multi-serial adapter driver. That CBS, I do not know what that is, but I'll have a chance to go through and investigate this a little bit more and see if I can actually get it running for whatever that multi-port adapter did, whether it's a monitoring something or whatever. But those are the files that are on the hard drive. So if you enjoyed this video, and looking like my 1-year anniversary of going through and at least branding the channel, click on that like button and let's get some more subscribers. I'm hoping to go over 600 subscribers here very soon, especially with my trip to VCF East. If you are going, be sure to say hi. You'll maybe recognize the beard, and we can go through and we can talk shop as it is. But that is all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. Thank you.